Hello and welcome to the show. Today it is Game On New Central TV. A pleasant day to talk sports. And of course, we say it is Friday. Thank God it is Friday. But there's something significant about today. I mean, way back in the days when we used to watch thrillers and horror movies, we never used to like the date, Friday the 13th. And it means that today happens to be an eve to Valentine's Day, where we get to show love, not just to lovers, but of course to also give alms to the poor out there. My name is Udoka Njoko. You're welcome to the show, and I've got two fine gentlemen in the building. I've got the legend himself talking about Tony Ibitoye right here, the former Super Eagles media officer right here in the studio, and of course Okpe Adebari joining us to talk sports on the show. Welcome to the show, guys, and should I say happy Friday the 13th or happy Valentine's Eve or happy Valentine's Day in advance?
I'll prefer happy Friday the 13th.
Tony, I mean, what is that significant thing for you when it comes to Valentine's Day celebrations?
Well, it's a special Valentine is a special day, not in the sense of being, you know, like maybe a Christmas or the Easter, but because it's a day that everybody tries to, you know, celebrate love, you know, so February generally is regarded as a month of love, so the 14th is regarded as the day for love in the month of love. So yeah, that's the essence. We hear the story of Saint Valentine, how that day came about. We don't know whether it's a fairy tale or whether it's a true story, but then whichever one it is, we just know that it's good to have that special day to celebrate love. And for a lot of people, love isn't celebrated just one day in 365 days.
Thank you for that.
Love is celebrated every day.
It doesn't have to be singles or married.
Yeah, show love every day. I mean, that's the essence of life. Show love and celebrate every day, and but then it's good to, you know, have that special day for you know, purposes like this.
Right.
So, Okwe, you have to change your attitude. And,
you know, I was going to drag Okwe into that conversation, but it's cool that you've made
change your attitude to loving Friday the 13th.
I mean, for me, I show love every day. I mean, as Christians, you know, God says you should show love. Love is one of the best attributes of Christ, so we show love every day.
I see. Of course,
celebrate love every day.
we've also got Kazim Elegwe joining us, and also, I mean, for Kazim, we've talked about love, and it feels like there's a bit of bias in I don't know if it's Nigeria or the whole world now, because just after this month of love, February, March is a women's month. How does that make you feel?
Oh, well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Like Tony said earlier, love showing, sharing is a daily thing. Yeah, there's nothing wrong in designating a particular day of the year, which is tomorrow. That is fine, but you have to show love every day. You have to show love to your spouse, to your family, to your friends, and even to your neighbors.
Well, my landlord at the moment is not showing love. It's not showing love.
You can show love to him now.
Nobody wants to show love.
Show love to him.
Show love to him. And Lagos agents. Nobody wants to show love there. But of course, we are right here to give you all the love that we can when it comes to the world of sports. And you also show us love by calling to the studio and letting us know how you feel about the things that we're going to be talking about today on the show. The numbers to call, we have two numbers for you to reach out to us with. There's 0808 8211723. Again, I'll call it 0808 8211723. The second one to reach out to us on is 0813 022 6797. And talking about showing love, no love lost between Nigeria and Morocco, because we just got back from the Nations Cup that happened in Morocco in January, December. Again, Nigeria will have to go back to Morocco, where they will face them in the 2026 Davis Cup World Group 2 tie after the official draw by the International Tennis Federation in London was held. The Benson Isechi-led team will travel to Morocco for the 18th to the 20th of September fixtures, aiming for a historic breakthrough against the North African side. Now, Nigeria secured that place with a 3-1 victory over Uzbekistan in the World Group 2 playoffs at the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, keeping promotion hopes alive. Morocco, on the other hand, are ranked 48th globally and Africa's second highest team after Egypt having remained unbeaten against Nigeria in Davis Cup encounters since 1973. The winner will advance to the 2027 World Group 1 playoffs, while the loser will remain in World Group 2. Tony, I'll start with you. I mean, so far so good. Against Uzbekistan, a lot of fans never expected, because Uzbekistan are highly rated compared to Nigeria. But of course, we were able to surmount that pressure and cause that upset by the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club. Whatever happens in Morocco, it is still a success story for Nigeria.
Absolutely. So there's no pressure, you know. We're not supposed to put ourselves under undue pressure. We just gained a movement upwards into the World Group 2 with that victory over Uzbekistan in that playoff. And it was a surprise because Uzbekistan is a better rated nation, have a couple of players who have played in major Grand Slams in the world. Yeah. Although you could argue that some of those key guys didn't turn up for the game against Nigeria, and maybe a few of them showed up. But then it doesn't take anything away from the achievement of Nigeria, you know, beating Uzbekistan 3-1 to move to World Group 2. Now we're up against another better rated nation with which we've enjoyed rivalry in some other sports. And of course, we can learn a lesson from the fact that we took out a better rated nation in the playoff. And so Morocco shouldn't scare us with their rating, with their ranking. If our boys can just get down to the business and monster all the strength that they have, like they did at the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club, and go out against Morocco in September. There's a lot of time, you know, for us to prepare for this one, and call up those who couldn't show up for this game against Uzbekistan who were out, and then try to present a stronger team for this game against Morocco. So as you said, I agree with you that already we've punched above our weight by knocking out Uzbekistan. Yeah. But then whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Let's try and see if we can push harder a little bit, push more, and see if we can take out Morocco as well. And I'm surprised that with that statistic that you reeled out, that we've not won any game against Morocco since 1973. It's time to cancel that. Oh, okay. It's time to change the story.
But we know how fierce the fans can be over there. The just concluded Nations Cup, the fans have been quite fierce when it comes to supporting their own. And again, Nigeria is going there. This time around, it's tennis, not even football. It is tennis. How many supporters are we going to get supporting Nigeria over there in Morocco come September?
Well, I think this is probably where the NSC needs to step in collaboration with the Nigerian Tennis Federation. I don't think we should just rely on indigenes of Nigeria that are present in Morocco. I think we need to definitely, you know, transport our contingent. I remember prior to the Davis Cup that, you know, just went down last weekend against Uzbekistan, there were fears regarding, you know, ticket sales because it was quite poor. And then, you know, next thing you know, within the next 48 hours towards the day of the event, tickets got sold out. I mean, ticket prices started from 5,000 naira, and you know there was ample support for Team Nigeria. So if we could do that on home ground, I think we can. If we can be able to replicate that away, it will help us a lot. I think one other aspect of us doing well against Uzbekistan has to be the fact that, you know, for the last 52 years, we've not had any Nigerian in the top 100 of the ATP rankings. So if there's any opportunity to possibly platform our athletes to be able to get there now, I think now is the time. I think Daniel Adeleye, for me, has to be the perfect candidate. You know, he was absolutely amazing this past weekend, both in the doubles event and the singles event. And for me, he's the one most likely to help us break into that barrier. And I think when we do have a player or one or two players within the top 100, more opportunities come for Nigeria. Nigeria is then open to more international competitions. It had been a long time since we had competed, you know, in the Davis Cup. So we need regular competition. We need to get our best players rubbing their shoulders against the best of the best, if we want to then get into those conversations with the likes of Egypt and Morocco.
All right, so the number to call is 0808-821-1723. Second number is 0813-022-6797. Let's touch on fencing, because it's another sport that we are beginning to
Before I go into fencing, I just wanted to say that thankfully, in tennis, towels are part of the players' equipment.
Nice one.
Yeah, so
hopefully, no season of towels.
No, the players can move around with their towels.
Kazim, I mean, towels will be freely allowed for players to use over there in Morocco this time around. Nobody's seizing anybody's towel.
Yeah, I should think so. Also, just like Nigeria, in Morocco, lawn tennis is not the predominant sport.
Yes.
So I expect less hostility. If our boys can keep their head, I think they have a chance. Besides, this is the time to also involve Nigeria's Sports Supporters Club. They are called Sports Supporters Club, not Football Supporters Club.
Yes.
And of course, that is where it started. But over time, they metamorphosed into all sports. I mean, it's going to be very easy to, liaise with them and then make sure that we get some of our guys from Nigeria to go there and support the guys in collaboration with Nigerians who are based in Morocco.
Interestingly, in their last Davis Cup game, they still had issues.
True.
Did you see the video of how they lost? I mean,
Uzbekistan.
They lost to Morocco. Lost. They wanted to get into Group 1. They lost. That's why they are remaining in Group 2. And after the loss, they had to ferry some of the players of the team that defeated them. I mean, out of
to keep them safe,
because projectiles were being hauled onto those people. So it means that they have to do that.
Be very careful, yeah.
And then another thing that Kazim said that I think can also, at the supporters club, will drumming, singing be allowed in the tennis game, because you need to keep everywhere quiet.
Definitely.
But they can still find a way to get that support there.
After every set or after every point won, of course, there will be jubilations and all of that. But the supporters club, nobody will be drumming over there, because the tennis game has to be full concentration, no noise up until the end, except the set has been won, then we can clap and all of that. But we need to make a lot of noise ahead of that game against Morocco. Let's switch gears now to fencing, as Nigerian fencing prodigy Inkosi Brou will captain the 4-man squad at the 2026 African Junior Fencing Championships in Dakar, Senegal, from the 16th to the 20th of February. The 18-year-old Sabre, ranked 13th globally, became Nigeria's first global fencing medalist with a silver at the 2024 World Tournoi Satellite Cup and added bronze at the 2025 African Junior Championships. Brou will compete in men's sabre, joined by Mahathir Idongesit in men's épée, while Sarah Idongesit and Adibodrin Thomas contest the women's épée events. The championships are expected to sharpen the team ahead of the Commonwealth Championships in Lagos later this year, providing crucial international exposure and, of course, experience for Nigeria's young fencing talents, with Brou earmarked as a strong Olympic prospect for Los Angeles 2028. Kazim, I like the fact that we start early with some other sports. I'm hoping that we can do better, especially when it comes to the Olympic Games.
Yes, this is the way it should be. And in fact, I won't even say we're starting early. From experience, research has shown that athletes who go on to win medals at the Olympics are built over a period of 8 to 10 years. It is not when the Olympics is 6 months away, we'll now be running from pillar to post. Athletes will be complaining about money. But this is good. At least this is a deviation from our very, very sorry past, where fire brigade, that's what we do. 2 years to the Olympics, well, you can do something, but honestly, unless we want to surprise the world and ourselves, I won't expect anything from this team now. Maybe the next Olympic after that, if we're consistent, then that is when you can say, yeah, we have a chance here. But it's good that we're starting at least a couple of years before the Olympics.
All right, let's move on to boxing now. Nigerian heavyweight contender Efe Ajagba will make his Zuffa boxing debut on Sunday at the Meta Apex in Las Vegas, facing former world champion Charles Martin in the main event of Zuffa Boxing 03. The fight represents a chance for the 28-year-old to put things right after he battled to a majority draw with Martin Bakole last May in a fight many believed Ajagba had done enough to win. Prior to that fight in Riyadh, Ajagba had won 5 straight to take his career record to 20 wins and 1 loss with 14 knockouts. Martin, a former IBF title holder, brings a wealth of experience and a record of 30 wins, 4 losses, and 1 draw into the bout. 27 of his 30 wins have come by way of knockout. We keep looking forward to seeing Efe Ajagba in that heavyweight list. Is this the time for him?
Definitely, it is. It is for me. I think after leaving, Deontay Wilder's camp and signing up with Zuffa Boxing, I think this is the best platform. Sadly, the bout against Bakole, it didn't come off the way many expected that it would for him. A lot of people felt like, their bout was going to be possibly the precursor to one of them being involved in a title bout. It didn't happen because it was deemed underwhelming. It wasn't really. I think it was a clash between two heavyweights. In my own opinion, just like many other people, everyone felt like Efe Ajagba won that fight squarely. But the judges thought otherwise and gave equal points to both men. But going forward, it's a great way for Efe Ajagba to start the year 2026, knowing that the heavyweight division is basically opened. Anthony Joshua, we don't know if he's still going to be competing or not. Tyson Fury is still trying to get back into the mix. Alexander Usyk has already declared who his next fighter is going to be. Daniel Dubois is still there in the mix. Let's not forget that, we've still got Ituama in the mix as well, Moses Utama. So I think it's exciting times for heavyweight boxing. All
right, Kazim, you wanted to touch on it. For Efe Ajagba, are we studying or gradually going away from Anthony Joshua? Go ahead.
I just want to chip in something. Please, do our boxers, do they hit Apple? Because I want to believe if you take plenty of Apple, the knockouts will be raining in.
Knockout.
Seriously, I think it's good time for Nigeria. If you're having 2-3 names, coming very close to where they can go for the title, is great. So we just need, especially NSC, the sports, the federal sports body, they need to support these guys. You don't just leave them to do it all alone.
Yeah.
They are projecting the name of Nigeria. You need to come to there. You need to, ask them in which way you can support them. It's not all about money all the time. There are so many things you could do to actually support these guys, which would be a more robust start for them.
All right. That's some superstition about eating apple, fufu, that will make you stronger. Believe me, when you eat apple, you will sleep off.
But your brother that was a world heavyweight champion for Nigeria, Samuel Peter, also believed that you need to eat.
Where is he today?
No, but whether we like it or not, is a world champion. He was a world champion.
But Apple let him down.
Apple took him up and brought him down. But then Samuel Peter's right hand was something that he didn't want to encounter.
Our weightlifters, our wrestlers eat Apple, if you don't know.
Okay. Let's move on to basketball now, as LeBron James became the oldest player in the NBA history to record a triple-double, powering the Los Angeles Lakers to a 124-104 point win over the Dallas Mavericks. At 41 years and 44 days, James surpassed Karl Malone's previous mark, finishing with 28 points, 12 assists, and 10 rebounds. The outing marked his 123rd career triple-double, the 5th most in the league history. He reached the milestone late in the fourth quarter and was greeted with a standing ovation from the home crowd. The achievement comes in his 23rd NBA season and just before his 22nd All-Star appearance. Despite injury setbacks this campaign, James remains central to the Lakers' push for a Western Conference playoff berth. And of course, veteran NBA point guard Chris Paul has announced his retirement at age 40, ending a remarkable 21-year professional career. The 12-time All-Star was released by the Toronto Raptors after being traded by the Los Angeles Clippers midway through the 2025-2026 season. Despite not securing an NBA title, Paul earned 12 All-Star selections, 7 All-Defensive First-Team nods, 4 All-NBA First-Team honors, and 2006 Rookie of the Year recognition. The Wake Forest product acknowledged the highs and lows of his career, reflecting on leadership, responsibility, and his enduring love for basketball. Now, Paul leaves the league as one of the game's most respected playmakers and is widely expected to be a future Hall of Famer.
Did they say they didn't win any NBA championship?
Yeah,
it's almost difficult for me to, I'm just trying to recall that indeed,
if he did win,
a player has accomplished that.
Yeah, with all the great franchises that he played with, he never was close.
It's just like the Brazilian Ronaldo not winning the Champions League.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing.
We'll go on a break now. When we return, we'll be talking football all the way. There's a lot of story that has to do with the competition of African football. We'll be right back. Right, welcome back to the show. It is still Game On News Central TV. I am Udoka Njoku. I've still got Tony Bitoye right here in the studio, and of course, Okpe Adebari. Not to forget that we have Kazim Elegbede, who joins us as well. to talk more about the world of sports, everything happening in the world of sports. And of course, you can also reach us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And then you can call into the show and air your voice. 808-821-1723 or 081-3022-6797. Let's talk football and talk about the Nigeria Premier Football League. Games that will be going down this weekend, starting off with Saturday, as you see Barao FC take on Kun Khalifat, the resurgent, let me put it that way, Kun Khalifat, those a club that has that withdrew from the NPFL and came back. This is their second coming.
All within 24 hours.
All within 24 hours. And the media officer said he does not know who put up that tweet. And I'm wondering if a media officer can tell you he doesn't know who put it up. I'm wondering if spirits are working with the league. On Sunday, we see El Kanemi Warriors take on Plateau United. Katsina United will take on Nasarawa United. Bayelsa United versus Bendel Insurance. Enugu Rangers versus Wiki Tourists. Enyimba will take on Ikorodu City. There is Kwara United versus Kano Pillars. Remo Stars will take on Abia Warriors. Shooting Stars will be up against Warri Wolves. Rivers United are not in the conversation because they have, yet again, I still do not know why they're still playing a Champions League game when they've been knocked out.
They have to complete the fixtures.
Why? Is there any no need?
No.
For pride.
You have to complete the fixtures. Yeah. If not, you get hammered by the organizers. So you have to complete. Even if you have been knocked out, 4 games to go, you must complete the fixtures. You know.
That's the dance of shame. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not only that. It's not only that. Money is also involved.
Yes.
For every win and all that, you have money in. So
and goals.
It's not even going to be good for them.
Kazim, I'm sorry to cut you now. You said for every win and goals, there's money. Where are the goals coming from for Rivers United? They're not even winning this game.
No, but they are scoring.
It doesn't matter.
They are scoring goals.
This is football. The fact that they have not won any match does not mean that they are not going to win the next one.
I think
so they just have to keep playing.
They've scored a couple of goals already. So
okay.
Yeah. So money is involved.
Also, you know,
I like the faith of honestly, I like the faith of Kazim and Toyin, but I don't see how Rivers United can turn it around. It's looking very difficult.
But it may not look, but they have to go to honor those fixtures.
Well,
they must honor those fixtures.
So honoring the fixture is one thing. Getting a good performance is another. And right now, no one is expecting anything from Rivers United. They were going to play for pride in their last game, which they lost woefully. Now playing against RS Berkane, who are a very, very strong side in the CAF Champions League. I don't know how that will go for Rivers United.
They will also have to play for pride.
Okay.
The pride is not finally gone. So there's always an opportunity to play for pride.
Okay, I like that. I like that angle.
And they can also liken it to Olympics long distance. The fact that
you must complete the race.
And you are in the last, you still have to complete it. It's the spirit of the game.
Yes.
All right, talking about the spirit of the game, let's go straight to the Confederation of African Football President Patrice Motsepe. He has confirmed that Morocco will host the 2026 Women's Africa Cup of Nations, ending speculations over a possible venue change. The decision was ratified by the CAF Executive Committee during its meeting in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, with no alterations to the tournament schedule. Recent reports have suggested Morocco might withdraw from hosting duties, creating uncertainty around the competition's timeline. Motsepe reaffirmed CAF's commitment to the North African nation, maintaining both the venue and original dates. Morocco previously staged the 2022 edition, receiving praise for its organization, infrastructure, and record attendance. The confirmation offers clarity for participating nations as preparations intensify for Africa's premier women's football tournament. Let's listen to the president, Patrice Motsepe.
You remember, Morocco came to assist because there were many countries that wanted to host it, but because we didn't have time, our standards were very, very high. So there's still many, many countries that are interested. As we speak now, we still have an engagement with Morocco because some of the other countries say, please, can we host it? But they want to change the date. We can't change the date because it's one of those, Samson, it's one of those qualifiers for the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. So, so the AFCON continues. It's going to be successful, and we will make sure that it takes place. It has to take place, Samson.
Now, it is confirmed Morocco will host the Women's Africa Cup of Nations during the AFCON in 2025, 2026, December, January. We saw loads of comments about, or rather asking questions, why always Morocco? There was also a tweet from Assistant Oshoala saying, why always Morocco? And my response to them was, where else do we take these tournaments to?
Who else?
Where else do we take this tournament? There was a rumor that they were going to have a time change and a date, a venue change. We were here in South Africa, but now it is confirmed by the president himself that Morocco will host the AFCON. If Morocco, and they're also going to be a part of the host for the World Cup as well. These guys have done everything to ensure that they have the infrastructure to host international tournaments.
You know, Morocco's ability to host international tournaments is never been in doubt. From decades ago, you know, they were supposed to host the World Cup in 1986. You know, they had the facilities to host the World Cup in 1986. They lost out narrowly. So for a country that was ready to take on the world as far back as 1986, it gives you an idea of how ready they are. And they are not stopping, you know. They've improved on their facilities, they've invested in infrastructure, and they have a very well-run football ecosystem. The clubs in Morocco have their own facilities, and these facilities are top-notch. Yeah. They are world-class. So they have only Casablanca. I was telling someone, because I've been to Morocco a couple of times, Casablanca and Rabat alone can even host the AFCON with the number of stadia available to them and the quality of these stadia and training facilities. So it is nothing to them. By the time you now look at Tangier, you look at Marrakesh, you look at Agadir and Fez, they are ready to host the world. You know, so it's not in doubt. What we saw of the last AFCON in 2025 is comparable to what you see at any FIFA Senior World Cup. I agree. The quality, the crowd, the ambience, you know, apart from the officiating. Every other thing, you know, was, you know, top class. So we are happy to have Morocco in Africa to help us, you know, put all of these things together. Even the 2028 AFCON, you know, we are already told that Morocco is also in the picture for it, alongside Ethiopia, South Africa, and Botswana. So, you know, they are there, and I hope they are always willing, you know, to come to bail CAF out anytime we have a shortage in people ready to host this tournament.
Right, you know, in Morocco, right there, you see parts of Morocco where it's written at the airports, train stations, the kingdom of football. And no doubt, these guys are doing everything that they can. They are big brothers. They've pushed the mantle higher for us to reach when it comes to hosting tournaments like this one. I'm still talking about the Nations Cup. I know Kazim wants to talk about this one, but let me quickly chip in on the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, which CAF has confirmed that it will proceed as scheduled in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, dismissing reports of a possible postponement to 2028. Now, the president reaffirmed the governing body's commitment following an executive committee pledging close collaboration with the three nations to meet infrastructure and logistical standards. Now, Kazim, we talk about infrastructure and logistical standards, and we compare Morocco to these three nations, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. It feels like the three of them are nowhere near Morocco.
Honestly, first, the goal of FIFA or CAF is to take this Blue Ribbon tournament around the continent. If it's all about infrastructures alone, then we are going to be talking about only North Africa and possibly South Africa as a country. Yes. But that's not the reason. I mean, they went to Cote d'Ivoire, the last edition of CAN. Do you want to say the infrastructure you saw there will match anything Morocco displayed? No. That is beyond infrastructure alone. The behavior of Moroccans, the behavior of their government, what has CAF done about it? I think this will have been an opportunity for CAF to make a statement. Even if they are going to host, you have to, you know, stop a little bit. It's them on the let them know. They can't just do things flippantly. And they're saying Morocco is bailing us out. I think it's an insult to the continent. And I think CAF has been so lazy. Morocco is not the only country in Africa that has facilities. And this is not even all about infrastructures alone. Okay? So, Asisa has a very good reason to ask Morocco again. Is it only Morocco? Should it be only about Morocco? I know countries have to, you know, show desire to host. But even CAF should nudge countries who have semblance of facilities to host. You don't just sit in South Africa or anywhere or gallivant around the continent without sensitizing countries as to what they can gain by hosting, or even how CAF can come to their aid to prop them up a little bit. What happened in Morocco a couple of months ago, it was very, very distasteful. It was a chance for Morocco and for CAF to make a statement. It's not Africans. I know the way they love football. You just came back from you just came back from Morocco. Okay, but we all love football. Even in sub-Saharan Africa, we also love football. Do we beat people? Do we harass people? Do we arrest people on the street and clamp them in jail for weeks? We don't do that. And that is where CAF needs to come in and make a statement. So I disagree with you that they are saying that they bail CAF out or they bail Africa out is an insult.
Right.
Because if it's all about infrastructure alone, then North Africa and South Africa should be hosting anything Africa is hosting. But it's not about that alone.
No, so I totally agree with you now. But okay, let me bring you up on this conversation now. Yes, we know a lot of things went wrong right there in Morocco. But let's take a look at the business angle. Now, CAF and Morocco's hosting of the tournament, they raised the standards super high. Now, I'm going to ask, where else do we go to have something that matches that standard in African football, apart from maybe Cote d'Ivoire, which still doesn't match what they have in Morocco, and maybe South Africa, they can actually go head-to-head with Morocco. Where else do we run to?
To be honest, I think Morocco has set a really high standards because what we see from Morocco is international standard. That's just the truth. From, quality of the pitches, quality of the stadiums as well. When we take a look at Morocco as a country, they're one of the best tourist destinations globally, So there's a lot that Morocco offers. And then if you want to take a look outside of Morocco, I think probably the country that might be next to Morocco in terms of possibly delivering that level. And when I say delivering that level, I'm considering, the country being open to foreigners, being a travel destination, and also having facilities that could possibly match up. I think Rwanda has to be the closest at this point in time. We've seen what they've done with the Basketball African League over the last couple of years. I think they have what it takes. If they put together their resources and they say, this is what we want to do. Let's not forget that, towards the tail end of the tournament, their president did come into Morocco and, he was there at the semi-final and he said, look, we are also interested in doing this. Maybe they might not be able to do it on their own from the get-go. Maybe partnering with another East African country, maybe Uganda. I know Uganda is another progressive nation as well, but then you need to also consider transportation, road networks. All of these need to be put into consideration. The weather at the point in time in which the tournament is going to happen. Now we know that after 2028, we're going to have we're going to go back to the 4-year cycle. How are you going to be considering the weather conditions in the countries that are going to be hosting? There are so many key factors to put into place. But I agree with Kasim. I think that CAF has been too lenient with Morocco. I think even if they are going to host the 2028 tournament, a sanction should have been given to them. The way they've treated fans, the way they've treated opposition teams, the way they've conducted themselves has not been good enough. Yes, I know Patrice Motsepe is a businessman. He's looking at how to grow resources and revenue in African football, and he has done well so far. But I think he's neglecting too many things. A lot of people feel like Motsepe is selling or has even sold African football to FIFA. And not giving us a name or a strong backing, a strong leg of our own to make decisions on our own. But hey, it's like he's robbing Peter to pay Paul. But I think we need to set things right going forward now to really care about the future of African football.
Right. I remember the game, after that game between Morocco and Senegal, the finals, the next day where we were supposed to leave Morocco, we went to the mart to buy something, and about 2 guys saw me on the street, and the only thing that saved me was my Nigerian jersey. He asked me, are you Senegalese? I said, no, I'm Nigerian. Then he started saying, Viva Nigeria, Viva Nigeria. I wonder what would have happened if I had said I was Senegalese. Maybe they would have slapped me back to Nigeria.
You would have been horribly to jail, probably. but just to still talk about this a little bit, CAF has confirmed that East Africa is hosting the next AFCON 2027. And I think we had a dress rehearsal last year with the Chan, and it wasn't bad. I picked something out from what Kozim said. If you want Morocco to be the standard and nothing less than Morocco, probably you only leave Morocco, to be hosting all the AFCON, because there is no other country in Africa that will give you what Morocco has given you. It's taking them years of investment to get to that level. But we were in Cote d'Ivoire a few years ago. the facilities in Côte d'Ivoire were very good.
Yes.
Maybe not excellent like we have in Morocco or like we had in Egypt in 2019. But Côte d'Ivoire offered us something, and we were able to see good football on good pitches and all of it. So Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, if they cannot give us Morocco, they can give us something as good as what Côte d'Ivoire gave us. You know? And the football was good. The ambience was good. And
very true.
The engagement of the fans, the music, the dancing, the crowd, the everywhere was electric during that tournament. So that's something that we can also talk about, agree on.
Yeah, in as much as I agree with that, there was also something lacking.
2 seconds, please.
Okay.
2 seconds, please. I want to shock you. I've been to a couple of Nations Cup tournaments. The best of them, the one I enjoyed most, was Mali 2002. I was in Egypt. I was in Tunisia. I went to South Africa. But I tell you, Mali, I mean, they were down to heart. It was fantastic. And we had a nice time. So it's not all about facilities alone. A lot of things come into play. I know business-wise, yes, you have to. But if FIFA says it's only England, France, Brazil, or Mexico that can host the World Cup, then what are we talking about? You have to take this thing round. You just have to encourage others. You have to assist them to be able to present something that is acceptable. Thank you.
All right, like it's an essay, it finishes his words with thank you. And I hope with these few words of yours, you've not been able to convince or confuse. But the numbers to reach us on is 0808-821-1723, 0813-022-6797. And talking about fanfare, I mean, this was what Morocco lacked. We didn't see a lot of fanfare outside the stadium, no merchandise sales and all of that outside the stadium, which we saw in other tournaments, except you go to the markets, the Medinas, that's where you get to see a lot of these merchandises of these other countries sold. We didn't see that in Morocco, a lot of the stadium that we went to right there in Morocco. But still talking about African football, Patrice Motsepe, again, CAF President, has announced that the African Nations League will officially begin in 2029, marking a major shift in the continent's international football calendar. The decision was reviewed during an executive council meeting earlier on in Tanzania. The competition will be staged annually and feature all 54 member associations divided into 4 zones, with top teams advancing to a final phase. It is designed to complement the Africa Cup of Nations, which will move to a 4-year cycle from 2028. The new league aims to deliver more competitive matches, boost commercial opportunities, enhance broadcasting revenue, and strengthen player development across African national teams, which a lot of journalists over there in Morocco during the Nations Cup, they frowned at it, saying that we are not sure about this African League that we're about to start in a couple of years' time. But again, the president has called for the widespread adoption of the video assistant referee technology across African football, aiming to standardize officiating and enhance fairness in the game. Now, of course, Motsepe emphasized that all African football federations should have access to the VAR systems, highlighting the technology's role in reducing controversial decisions and boosting competition credibility. Kazim, CAF president, is saying we should adopt the VAR. While over there during the Nations Cup, there were a lot of questionable calls that favored Morocco, which the VAR did not even see.
Historic, well, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that VAR is operated by human beings. Okay? And where you have human beings, you have bias. It is normal. It is when it goes beyond borderline that people start to shout. And then when you talk of people adopting VAR, I laugh when I remember Nigeria. I want to bet that Nigerian league will probably be the last to adopt VAR. You all know what I'm talking about.
Are we talking about electricity here now, or just the use?
No. Forget about electricity.
Wow.
Toyi, you guys know what I'm talking
The
about.
national grid. Oh my goodness.
What Kazim is saying is that if the VAR is not careful in the Nigerian league, they can even beat that VAR. They can use cable and everything that the VAR will need.
Wow, it will be damaged basically.
If it comes to a case
So
where
we'll use VAR. Last minute go in Kano. When the VAR, they say it's the VAR, the fans will go there and just remove the battery or the thing connecting the VAR.
We'll use VAR to look for VAR.
No, but things are changing.
Yes.
Honestly, things are changing. And I think even the VAR technology, there are now cheaper versions that can, be adopted. and be used for football. So, you know, the thing with football is that technology is that it is progressing and it becomes less expensive because there will be, you know, improvement, there will be new versions, and there will be deployment of, you know, cheaper technology to achieve the same purpose. So let's see if, but as Osimhen said, the human element is always going to be there. You can commit an offense, VAR, like we saw at the AFCON, you know, VAR, everybody will see it, but then they will refuse to play it back.
Yes.
The producers of the game will refuse to play it back. So you'll be left hanging. Did that thing, was that thing, but you never get an opportunity to see it again.
To see it again.
You know, so the human element in officiating will always be there. But then VAR technology is also there to help us whenever we decide that it can help us.
I actually look forward to seeing it launched in the Nigeria Premier Football League. I would love to see how it works. If National Grid does not disturb the video assistant referee from who is wow.
In crucial matches.
In crucial matches.
Will not have fuel. Generator will not have fuel.
Wow. Wow.
It's not as bad as that.
So it is. I think it's that bad.
We use solar.
Oh, okay. Maybe
Solar will not work. There will be rain.
something will just happen because I mean it is what it is in our country, our darling country. Let's talk about one man who is from this country doing so well in Turkey, Victor Osimhen. I mean, this man has also been touted as the best player. Looking forward to when we will see the CAF Awards again. Victor Osimhen and, of course, Ademola Lookman are high up there. Now, Osimhen has been named one of the decade's most prolific international goal scorers by the International Federation of Football History and Statistics, joining elite stars Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and Kylian Mbappe. Osimhen ranked joint 14th in the 2021-2030 scoring charts with 27 goals, level with Serbia's Alexander Mitrovic. His consistent form, including a 9-goal surge in 2025, highlights his key roles for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Since debuting in 2017, Osimhen has scored 35 goals in 51 appearances, making him Nigeria's second all-time top scorer, just 2 behind Rashidi Yekini. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Victor James Osimhen, you know, the Ijaya of Olusosun. And, you know, anytime I just remember his story, it's just amazing that someone who was in abject poverty is now considered one of the most prolific strikers, you know, in the history of world football. Today, there are debates, you know, regarding his world-class status. I think those debates should be put to bed because the quality is there. It's evident for everyone to see. You put Victor Osimhen in any team in the world, he will elevate the game of that team. A lot of people see him playing in the Premier League. A lot of people seeing him playing in La Liga. A lot of people are saying now he might just be the, you know, the successor to Robert Lewandowski in Barcelona because there's space there for him. There were rumors regarding Bayern Munich if you know, Harry Kane might want to go back to Spurs, but Harry Kane now has signed a contract extension. So the narrative now are saying Osimhen might be on his way to Barcelona very soon. But nevertheless, I think his record speaks for him. Over 200 goals, over 300 appearances. I think that's very, very amazing for a striker of his age. And look, just 2 goals shy of Rashid Yekini's record for the Super Eagles. You know for sure that he's going to set a record as the top goal scorer for the Super Eagles, one that's going to be very difficult to beat. But I think we're all very proud of him, and we're looking forward to more plaudits from Victor James Osimhen.
All right, more plaudits for Victor James Osimhen. Now, going straight to the EPL, Nottingham Forest have appointed Victor Pereira as their 4th manager of the season, with a deal running until the end of the Premier League campaign. The 57-year-old takes over from Sondage, who was sacked following a goalless draw against bottom club Wolves. Forest sits 17th, 3 points above the relegation zone after 2 wins in 10 games. Pereira previously managed Wolves and Olympiacos, winning the Greek League and Cup, and brings extensive experience from stints across Europe, China, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia. Tony, I mean, in 10 seconds, this same coach, like the other coaches, they all had experience, but when they got to Nottingham Forest, there was nothing short of mediocre when they got there.
You know, it's an interesting world, and the turnover rate, I'm not sure we've had it this high, you know, in the last couple of years. The turnover rate of coaches, a coach is sacked here, and the next time is replacing another sacked coach somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, within January and February, we've had 6 high-profile coaches sacked.
And some are going to replace other sacked coaches, you know. So is it a measure of the impatience of our clubs or the owners of the clubs?
Yeah.
I don't just understand, because Sean Dyche was, I mean, being applauded for trying to turn things around at Forest just a couple of weeks ago. and after a goalless draw, it's been kicked out. So
yeah.
It's really, you know, difficult to understand.
Same with Tottenham manager Thomas Frank, who some days ago said he was 1,000% sure that he was going to remain as a coach, but now he has been fired, and now we're hearing that they're poised to appoint Igor Tudor,
who was sacked somewhere else
from Juve and Marseille.
Yeah,
he was sacked, and now he's coming over. If he does get employed, he will be Tottenham's new manager. But before we go, let's talk about stake-wise. We've made our selections for you this weekend. There's some games that we've selected, carefully selected. For Inter Milan versus Juve, we think that game would have goal, meaning both teams will score each other. The other game between Real Madrid and Real Sociedad, there's a resurgence in Real Madrid. I feel like they can win that game at the Bernabeu. So it means a straight win for Real Madrid. RS Berkane versus Juve United, of course. Nobody's even peeping Juve United, except an upset happens.
I'm peeping Juve United.
Okay, all the best with that one, but RS Berkane to win that game.
I picked them to beat Pyramids,
and they lost. Now, Napoli against Roma, we believe that game will finish up in over 1.5, meaning more than 2 goals. 2 or more goals will be scored in that game. While Enyimba versus Ikorodu City, Enyimba should win that one on a borrowed soil. Now, I say thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming up to the studio, Tony Ibitoye, and of course, Okpe Adibari. Not to forget Kazim Elegbede, who joined us and also gave us interesting analysis, especially when it comes to hosting the Africa Cup of Nations. Thanks, guys, for making it to the studio today.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. Yeah.
But of course, before we go, let's tell you about Aiden Skipo, a 35-year-old striker for the Anguilla national team and Roaring Lions in the Anguillan Premier League. He's famed for having some of the longest hair in world football. His ankle-length dreadlocks are secured around his waist during matches to prevent interference with play. Scipio has earned 20 international caps, scoring 3 goals, and is known for his versatility as a striker and midfielder. He has represented Anguilla in CONCACAF competitions, including the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, while playing domestically for Roaring Lions FC. His distinctive appearance and disciplined hair management makes him a unique figure in global football. This I can never try. I know my ancestors will come for me, but hey, I can never keep my hair. No. Don't even bother. But of course, that's much you can take on the show today. Game on New Central TV. I am Udoka Njoko. Thank you for watching and have a beautiful weekend.